I have to tell you that I really struggled with this talk. I usually get my inspiration from books. I have been reading some really good books. Lately I've been reading a lot about hope and healing, of course. I'm currently reading another Bernie Siegel book. He's very inspirational. And I just finished rereading Irma Bombeck's I Want to Grow Up, I Want to Grow Hair, I Want to Go to Boise. I don't know why Boise. So this is about children with cancer and their families. I was not finding my inspiration there, so I downloaded a webinar with Dr. Gabor Mate, I hope I'm saying that correctly, talking about authenticity, and another webinar about shamanic visioning. I even saw 2 movies looking for further inspiration. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Oh God, with George Burns. George Burns can be inspirational, right? By this time, I'm starting to panic. I'm thinking, I'm just going to have to tell Megan I'm not feeling inspirational, I can't do this. However, I kept pushing. I listened to more of the Authenticity webinar where Dr. Gabor Mate discussed the origins of people-pleasing. He said when parents don't allow their children's feelings, the child becomes the parent's emotional caregiver by suppressing their own emotion. This causes a conflict between attachment and authenticity. As a child, you have to choose attachment in order to get your physical needs met. And if you aren't loved for who you are, you try really hard to be liked. So, everybody will like you, but nobody will love you because nobody knows you. This really struck a chord with me. Then you go on, and he goes on to say, and then you get sick. You get depression, cancer, addiction, autoimmune disorders, etc. because the pain of not being yourself is too much. I realized a long time ago that I struggled with being myself. I dated a lot and was married 3 times. But I never had a romantic relationship even last 2 years. Finally, I decided to be real. On dates, I stopped telling people what I thought they wanted to hear. I stopped trying to be the Martha Stewart I thought they wanted me to be. I was then able to have the healthiest, most authentic relationship I've ever had, which is why it hurts so much when he dumped me. And of course, he used my humanness as the reason for this dumping. I took this very personally. I let it break me. I shut down. I have not allowed myself to have a significant romantic relationship since this relationship ended nearly 10 years ago. I recently realized that he used my flaws against me to make himself feel better. It was not about me, just like the 4 Agreement says. Now it's time to decide to be true to myself. That means I have to put myself out there and allow myself to be vulnerable. Dr. Gabor Mate used crabs as an example of vulnerability. I thought this was a great visual, right? You all seem very surprised by this. Crabs can be vulnerable. So crabs cannot grow unless they molt and lose that outer shell, right? So I ask you to ask yourself, do you want to hold on to that shell, or do you want to grow?